It's time to take your business to the next level, the boss level. These are the premier business owner strategies and successes being utilized by the industry's top talent today. Rock your business like a boss, a VO boss. Now let's welcome your host, Ann Ganguza.
Woohoo! Hey everyone! Welcome to the VO Boss Podcast and the Business Superpower Series. I'm your host, Ann Ganguza, along with my very special guest co-host, Law Lapidez.
Hey everyone!
Hey Law!
Happy Saturday!
Law, we have an extra special podcast edition today. We are doing live auditions for the very first time, and I am so excited.
I love it. It's my specialty. I can't wait, Ann.
And we are going to be having people come on doing live auditions as well as people in the audience, and will be joining us later on for a Q&A. Mm-hmm. So I am so very excited. Now, live auditions. Remember back when, before the pandemic, when we would go into studios and audition for casting directors? Oh,
and that required us to actually see other human beings talk to them and maybe even shake their hand.
I know. And you know what? One of the most important things about that is that we would not see the script until we walked into that studio. And there was always the possibility when we actually got into the room, they would change the script on us.
Yes.
So guess what, Law?
What, Ann?
The client has changed the script. So for our auditioners out there and everybody in the audience, I'm sorry, but we had to throw the wrench into the loop of things. And we now have a different script that we will be sending to you to live audition with. So I know that Carol is out there waiting to send that new script out with new specs, and we will continue on with the auditions. And I have to say, I love the internet and I love technology because it allows us to really do something really cool like this.
Yeah, it's totally amazing, completely amazing. And, just a moment on that real cold, impromptu, last-minute script. Mm-hmm. Because I know so many voice actors are like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Meanwhile, you have to calm down and take a breath because so many of us are either on a pay-to-play site or we're on hold with our agent or we're working with casting on a project, and it's happening fast. It's coming and going really fast. And you guys are really getting used to turning things around fast. So the idea of a cold script should not put you out at all. It should be kind of like a fun challenge for you and really in your wheelhouse as a pro VO of something that you need to be able to do.
Yeah. And I can't tell you the countless number of times I've been on a live session where, in the moment they're changing the script. And so you really have to be able to have those muscles to be able to quickly adapt and give the client what they're looking for. So I will say that this was a kind of a completely different script. But, remember, we are here for educational purposes, and we hope all of you are going to really enjoy and reap the benefits of this exercise that we're going to be doing. I will go through the specs. Because this is for educational purposes, the specs for this script are open to all genders and ethnicities, and I will read the specs out loud here. Our FVO is a great actor, there we go, who can effortlessly imbue meaning and nuance into the story. They have lived a rich, full life, having seen the world with all its wonders, and is able to speak about their experiences with confidence and authority, while their delivery has a poetic cadence. And by the way, you guys are all getting this. This is done subtly and with a light touch. They never come across as dramatic, performative, or as if they are laying on the gravitas. They are natural and have an air of lightness to the read that balances out their connection to the emotion perfectly. And as always, nothing smooth, nothing polished or announcery at all. So that's a big paragraph of specs, Law. What's your thought about specifications and when talent, read the specs, are they trying to match those specs exactly, or what's important when it comes time to actually doing this audition?
Great question. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of theories and philosophies about your descriptions, your breakdowns, and how to handle them. One of my favorites as a coach that I use all the time is to ask the talent to not read the specs up front. Now, this I'm not talking about today because today's session is a live session, and so time is of the essence.
Right.
But if you were at home and you had a day or 2 days to turn around and audition, it's a really interesting and telling exercise to not read the specs at all and give your takes and give a whole bunch of takes, and then go back and read the specs and see what did I bring from my point of view, from my interpretation, and what kind of matches what the vision of the producer is. Am I in that realm? Am I not in that realm?
Excellent points. Yeah, let's have Michelle come on in. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Hi, can you guys hear me okay?
We can. We can. Thank you for being the first one. I'm excited.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. I'm excited to be here as well.
Okay. So would you like a second, because you just got it? I mean, Law and I can just discuss one other thing quickly about once you're in front of the mic and you're doing a live cold read, Law, what is your best advice for talent?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. First of all, have fun, enjoy it. You're going to get very few of those. Right, Michelle? I mean, it's just like an exciting, energized, kind of dopamine experience. And for those of us who live on high-octane junkies, we love that stuff. It's real-time interaction, which I love. And so I would say, make sure you're breathing.
Yes, breathe.
Make sure you're nice and warmed up, and you take breaks when you need to take breaks. Well, you'll be given a break after you read. And make specific, clear, active acting choices, Michelle. Like, don't generalize it. Don't just fly through it for the sake of time. Really make specific choices that you can change. And you should always have a good 2 to 3 really unique interpretations that you could do. If they said, yeah, that's good, but can you change it out? You can change it out.
Got it. Thank
Awesome.
you.
So when you're ready, feel free to slate and audition, please.
Michelle Dillard. Our colors, they have a way of finding us wherever we are. And with an Expedia membership, you can save up to 30% when adding a hotel to a flight. So we can find our colors in even more places, knowing we got a great deal. Expedia, made to travel.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, on to our next auditioner. On my list, I have Ryan. I hope it's Geyser.
Hello.
Hello, Ryan.
Oh, cool. I'm in.
Hey, Ryan.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. So I'm Ryan Geyser, non-union MCVO. Our colors, they have a way of finding us wherever we are. And with an Expedia membership, you can save up to 30% when adding a hotel to a flight. So we can go find our colors in even more places, knowing we got a great deal. Expedia, made to travel.
Thank you. I was taking notes, just so you know that if I'm not responding right away, I'm taking notes. So thank you very much. Our next contestant, our next auditioner, I have Rosie Roberson.
Yes.
All right, Rosie.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Rosie. Nice to see you.
Well, I'm glad I got in. It's a little tricky there. Just let me know when to start.
Okay, well, we're ready.
Our colors, they have a way of finding us wherever we are. And with Expedia membership, you can save up to 30% when adding a hotel to a flight. So we can go find our colors in even more places, knowing we got a great deal. Expedia, made to travel.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay. Our next, I have Manny Cabo.
Hey, ladies, how are you?
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me. This was a last minute thing. I just got off with COVID for like 2 weeks. So believe me, this is a breath of fresh air.
Oh, lovely. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, we are ready when you are.
All right, let's do this. Here you go. Our colors, they have a way of finding us wherever we are. And with an Expedia membership, you can save up to 30% when adding a hotel to a flight. So we can go find our colors in even more places, knowing we got a great deal. Expedia, made to travel.
Thank you so much, Manny. Awesome. Next on my list, I have Josh Wells. Josh.
Hi, how's it going, Ann? Nice to meet you. Hi, Law.
Nice to meet you too. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, super excited.
We are ready when you are.
Heck yeah, cool. All right. Josh Wells, non-union. Our colors, they have a way of finding us wherever we are. And with an Expedia membership, you can save up to 30% when adding a hotel to a flight. So we can go find our colors in even more places, knowing we got a great deal. Expedia, made to travel.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Up next, we should have Kelly White. Kelly White, you are next for the live auditions on VO Boss.
Hello.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi there. Nice to meet you, Anne. Hi,
Yes. Wonderful to see you.
Law. Thank you.
All right. Well, we are ready when you are.
Okay. Kelly White. Our colors. They have a way of finding us wherever we are. And with an Expedia membership, you can save up to 30% when adding a hotel to a flight. So we can go find our colors in even more places, knowing we got a great deal. Expedia, made to travel.
Fantastic. All right. Who do I have next? I have Alicia Hiller.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Good to meet you. Hi, Law.
Yes. Thanks for joining us today. All right. We're ready when you are.
Alicia Hiller. Our colors, they have a way of finding us wherever we are. And with an Expedia membership, you can save up to 30% when adding a hotel to a flight. So we can go find our colors in even more places, knowing we got a great deal. Expedia, made to travel.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Aria. Fantastic. Real cold read. All right. So we're ready when you are.
Okay. Our colors. They have a way of finding us wherever they are. And with a new Expedia membership, you can save up to 30% when adding a new hotel to a flight. So we can go find our colors in even more places. When we know a great deal, Expedia, made to travel. All right. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right. And now, Carol? Carol, we're ready when you are.
Alrighty, thank you. Our colors, they have a way of finding us wherever we are. And with an Expedia membership, you can save up to 30% when adding a hotel to a flight. So we can go find our colors in even more places, knowing we got great deal. Knowing we got a great deal. Expedia, made to travel.
Thank you, Carol. Just remember, a lot of times we have auditions with instructions, right? It's important to just go through those instructions too. And I know there's a lot of people who are like, in the forums will talk about, well, should I get Source Connect and then, or should I wait until I get my first client? And this would be one of the reasons why you want to make sure you test out all those tech things first. I am proud to be able to give you these technical issues to help you to learn because, it's all our mission, right, Law? Our mission is to educate.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm like, I'm not a negative Nelly at all,
Yeah.
but I'm very much a realist. And I say to folks, even if you've used your program, even if you've used your booth a million times, get in there early because anything that can go wrong probably will. And you want to be able to have time to troubleshoot that.
Absolutely.
And not miss out. So it is a good lesson. It is.
Nicole.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely. Well, we are ready when you are.
Okay. Our colors, they have a way of finding us, wherever we are. And with an Expedia membership, you can save up to 30% when adding a hotel to a flight. So we can go find our colors in even more places, knowing we got a great deal. Expedia, made to travel. There you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I remember being in the LA area. And of course, maybe if you ever had to run into the city to do a live audition, right? Traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the audition time was slotted, right, you would pray that there was no traffic jam that would be holding you up. Yeah. And if you did hit a traffic jam and you got there late, sometimes you missed the audition. Sometimes you got there way early and therefore you had the script. So I kind of like how we're really mimicking this. You'd be able to practice with the script a little bit longer if you had a line in front of you. Yeah. So, I feel that there's all this tech issues are kind of mimicking the traffic that we would hit when we would be, in the car on the way to the studio. And thankfully now we can,
The one element of this that I think is really different and unique to the circumstance, that is, sometimes we can't help tech glitches when they happen, and sometimes we can. And so just kind of knowing the difference. Like, I'll give you an example. Sure. For instance, if someone knows that they have to be on a laptop and have to go through Chrome in order to do the audition, it's really on that person to go on a laptop and go through Chrome. Mm-hmm. That's something that could be avoided. But all of a sudden, my transmission is bad because of the hurricane. All of a sudden, my lights go out. That's something I can't help. So I think being able to determine what I sort of have control over and I sort of don't have control over. And then the other thing too, and this is just me, you and I are exactly alike in this way, Anne. I will leave 4 hours early to get to an appointment, knowing that if I'm 3 hours early, I can do my work, I can have coffee, I can shop, I can do whatever. I don't want to do the last minute thing ever. Yeah. Like, that really stresses me out. And so just for everyone coming in, leave yourself plenty of time.
Oh, fantastic. Stephanie.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Yes, we are ready when you are.
Okay. Our colors, they have a way of finding us wherever we are. And with an Expedia membership, you can save up to 30% when adding a hotel to a flight. So we can go find our colors, even in more places, knowing we got a deal. Expedia, made to travel.
Thank you so much. So, Law, I have my notes ready and you have your notes ready. Let's talk.
I do. And I am wondering whether it's now or maybe later, if we could also go over some of our top kind of rules of the road in this kind of an audition. But we talked a little bit about it throughout, but what are our top, 5, 6, 7, 8 things that we want to see people be prepared to do or not do that happen today? Because here's the thing, from the talent's point of view, they see nothing. They know nothing and see nothing. You, I, and Sean were doing this whole massive thing, and Carol, this whole massive thing to make this session run.
Right, behind the scenes.
I would love to share a little bit of that so that, again, we can go back to what is in my power to change and control and prepare for, and what is really not.
Fantastic.
Are you okay with that if we just throw a few rules of the road in?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and start, Law.
Okay, I'm going to start. So one of the things that is, and again, I'm sharing this educationally. I don't want anyone to feel like we're chiding you or cussing you out or anything. It's not about that. This is about education, so that when you're on the real deal in the real scene, a lot of this will sort of dissipate and you'll be able to work streamlined like a pro. So this entire time, and you'll see my head was down a lot when you see the video of this. Why? Not because I was falling asleep, because I was constantly texting, constantly emailing, and helping people troubleshoot all along the way. Now, I'm not the tech person to help you troubleshoot. I was expediting those emails and texts over to Anne, over to Sean, over to Carol, where they needed to go. In the real world, you won't be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the real world. This is our educational fun forum. But in the real world, there will be no one to text, no one to email, and no one to help you tech troubleshoot. So
Excellent
simple
point.
things to avoid, I really want y'all to avoid, is knowing the device you have to be on, knowing the application or the program you need to be on, testing it through, preferably the day before rather than the day of, and also being in a solid space where you've got some audio integrity. You're not in the middle of a huge room or in a car or in a big living room to get the best quality that you can get. So those are all, in my mind, things you can somewhat control so that you can get to the next step, which is your talent, your work, your audition. Many of you couldn't get to it fully, because I know most of you, you just couldn't get to it fully because you were so concerned about the tech, about all the tech stuff that was going on.
And also, I do want to say that those instructions were sent out a couple of days in advance, even though we changed the script on you. The instructions were sent out. And look, most people, if it's going to be a technical, if it's going to be something technical like this, where you're joining remotely via, Source Connect, IPDTL, or some other form like Riverside, it is definitely advantageous to test that technology out. It's always wonderful to have a group of colleagues that you work with at any given time and say, hey, look, can you help me test? I mean, there's a lot of, forums and groups out there that say, hey, I need to do a Source Connect test right now. Can you help me? Somebody test with me. So make sure that if this is something that you need to do it in advance. And especially if, a lot of times we're asked to record as well. And this could just be something, maybe we're recording through Source Connect now, or we're recording locally, or whatever it is. Make sure that you hit that button and test it in advance. And so not having the technology throw your performance, which I'm sure it probably did for some of us a little bit. And I feel like I might have heard that in some of your reads. And as well as, everything that you can possibly do to make that session go smooth. And also, trying not to let that show when you get in the room to actually do the audition, right? It's in and out and no excess, nothing necessarily in terms of not too much small chat because,
and you took it out of my head. You took it right out of my mouth. That was my next point was there used to be an ad campaign many years ago for a deodorant, never let them see you sweat.
Yeah.
That's where we're an actor. We're an actor.
Right.
And what do actors do? They have to act. And that doesn't mean in the role all the time. That means as a business person, you have to make your client feel like everything's okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Don't worry about it. The sky isn't falling. Even though it may not be okay and you may not be able to audition and they may be disappointed, don't let them feel like you're disappointed, you're upset, you're worried, you're scared, because that mirrors onto them. And then that becomes a slippery slope, as they say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But that being said, Anne, I do want to congratulate everyone for the ones that actually most people were able to get in and show up and do an audition. Almost all. And I just want to give you a huge round of applause and kudos for doing that. Despite your issues and your tech glitches and your confusion and your craziness, look, you did it. You showed up.
Thank you.
You went through it. That's the pro that we want to build onto.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you, really. I mean, this was the first time that we've done this, and I think that I like to believe that it's educationally valuable to, the community, and I thank you for being a part of that from the bottom of my heart, really. I'm really proud of all of you. Number one, it's a Saturday, so thank you for coming out and doing that, and then dealing with tech frustrations. Right. And so let's talk a little bit, Law, about selections. Do you want to start?
So we're going to create our short list?
I think we should create our short list. So first of all, I'm going to say for a lot of the people, I feel that because it was a cold read, there were a lot of reads that sounded a little bit cold read.
Yes.
And so if you had time, right, if you were not the first person, literally, or even if you were the first person, I think my suggestion would be out of the mouth immediately once you get that script. You know what I mean? Get those words out of your mouth, because that becomes muscle memory. That's going to help you make it not sound like a cold read. It's going to help you get the context of the script quickly. And remember, we are storytellers. We need to tell the story. Even though this was a short script, there was a definite story there, and I needed to feel above the words coming out correctly. I needed to feel the warmth, the emotion, the point of view.
I love all that. And as an actor, I mean, I think, we have to choose very specific, very quick actor choices. We don't know if they're going to work. We don't know how they're going to land, but we have to be connected to something that's real. We have to know, who am I speaking to and what am I connecting to? I like to use props. I mean, I'm a big prop. Like, even if I'm, if I'm doing a makeup ad, I might have my lipstick ready to go. You may never see it, right? Because I'm a voiceover, so you may never see it, but I feel it. I smell it. It's in my hand. There's something, visceral about stuff that is real, that I can hold, I can use, I can feel. I like that. And engaging the body as well. So whether I'm sitting, I'm standing, whatever I'm doing is like, how does this translate within my body? Where's the energy coming from? Some of you came in with really warm, rich, textured sound, and that felt right to me. It felt like a way to go. It felt like a path. And as I watched you, I could sort of see where that vibration was coming from. I could sort of see where that was coming from today. So I think not disconnecting your head and your voice from the rest of your body and your spirit is super important.
Now, I'm also going to point out that, part of the specs, and I think part of what I think innately most people are looking for in this style of script is something, nothing smooth, polished, or announcery at all. Okay, so that's hard when you're doing a cold read. So the sooner, the sooner you can get that script out of your mouth. And by the way, if you weren't one of the first few that came on board, maybe that's something you were doing in the background, right? Until we called you, because we definitely had enough time now through this whole process where people towards the end had a good ample amount of time to kind of get a feel for that script, and just really feel the copy, understand the copy, know what story you're telling. Natural, and again, I'm looking at some of the specs that we were looking for, natural, not performative, not laying on the gravitas, an air of lightness to the read, which I liked. There were some really nice light reads in there that I liked. What else can I say about, and I think following the specs is one thing, but then adding something different, right? In addition to making it that non-announcery, telling the story, I think trying to incorporate something that's a little bit different, a little bit unique, something that you think no other talent is going to give, right? That might surprise us. So I had a couple of, as I was typing madly my notes, a couple of melodies that I heard in there that were really nice. There was like a lilt on one of the words, or maybe a little point of view that was different than I was anticipating, which made me stand up and take notice. And guess what I did, Law? I actually starred those reads, and those are the people that I have on my list to call back. So
they got Anne's gold star. That means
they got
something.
My stars.
That means something, right? I love that. That's great. I love that. There's a point I was just going to make, and I forgot what I was going to say. But I'm hearing you on what you're saying, Anne, because I think that that disappointment, if you will, that word disappointment of I'm ready, I'm prepared, I'm doing this. Wait a second, I'm not doing that. I'm doing something else. Whatever that is, that disappointment, that surprise, that letdown, that confusion, like it's really important to feel that and be in that space. Certainly as casting, as you are, as agent, as I am, we're constantly dealing with that. Just when I think it's one thing and I know it, it turns into something else and I don't know it. And typically it's because of priority. So if someone switches a script or someone switches an audition, it's typically because another audition came in that's much more time sensitive. So we have to, I might love, say, Manny or Kelly or Stephanie, but I also kind of love them for this new one that came in. So I want them to put that on hold just for a second and take this script and do it. So being able to improvise, impromptu, shift fast, interpret fast, I think is really important.
Yeah. And before we actually, I think, reveal, because you and I mean, I have my list and you have your list, so we need to agree upon 5 people that we're going to be calling back. I really just want to say that it's something, that's something different, right? The more that you can practice reading your scripts, I mean, I can't say enough how important it is to just find different scripts, read, practice all the time, audition. Yeah. It just helps you to be stronger and get feedback from coaches and people that you trust that have been in the industry that can really help you to perform better and make those bold moves. And workout groups, I think, are so important. Like I have my VO Peeps group, and every month, we are working out, and I know that Law, you have the same thing. Those are so important to help you get that practice under your belt, so that you need to experience all the different styles, all the different reads in order to make mistakes and grow from them.
Absolutely.
I think it's all about growth as an actor. And if you're not doing something every day that is voiceover, that is, looking at different scripts, scenarios, practicing, working, I think you're missing the boat on growing as an actor. So.
Right. And I think it's also how we deal with stress. How do we balance? How do we manage time? How do we manage our crazy lives when this stuff comes in? Because, I would say, be careful what you wish for. You might get it. And when it comes in, it always comes in at the most inopportune times. Yeah. It always comes in at the time when you're the busiest and you're working and you have events and you have kids. It always does, 100% of the time. So you kind of have to set your life up that I can go in the space, I can do this quickly, I can make it happen, even though I've got a whole bunch of layers going on around me. They don't need to know about it. As we always say, leave your trash at the door. Yeah. You can come get it on your way out. Don't bring it into the studio. And being able to really practice that skill along with your actual delivery skill, because it's a whole other skill. That's an executive functioning skill. That's like, how do I manage 25 things at once? And how do I make those 25 things all feel important and all feel like I'm not getting crazy? That's a functioning skill that we have to practice and we have to really work on every day, along with the actual acting skills, right? As we work on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking while you were talking. Now, as we reveal, Law, I'm going to have you read, maybe a list or a couple of people that you kind of have selected, and we'll see if we agree.
Yeah, actually, can I ask you, Anne, just to cross-check, how many out of our list do we have that actually auditioned? Or maybe I should say, how many did not audition? Because it seemed like most auditioned.
Three did not.
Okay, great. Yeah. So we had 12.
Well, actually, 2 out of the list did not, and then you added Britt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we actually had 12 or 13?
Yep, we actually had 12.
Fantastic turnout.
Well, out of the original list, we had 13. Yeah.
Don't you think that's fantastic, Anne? That's a fantastic turnout, because we always have, in any audition, a percentage of people who do not audition. There are no-shows or they just don't audition for many reasons. So that's actually very high, that level of people who showed up to audition.
And they didn't even know the script. Well, they
didn't know anything.
Well,
and they still showed up.
Yeah. That's good. So,
but see, I think that's a testament. I want to make mention. I think it's a testament to Anne, to myself, and to the nature of this whole group, this whole community, of how much we trust each other, we care for each other, and you're just getting to know Anne, many of you, and she's part of our community now, and like-minded people hold each other up, motivate each other, inspire each other, and through the difficult moments, get each other through it. And that's exactly what happened today. Exactly. And so I just want to call attention to that from a social and professional friend network, but also a community sort of inspirational, motivational, holding each other through this. You guys did that, even though you may not have talked to each other. You may not have met with each other. You did that in the space. You did that in the online space. And that's so important to do.
Absolutely.
And in the chat. So that was great. Okay, so how many, Anne, do you think, are we going to shortlist here?
Well,
would you say 6?
I've got 5 marked.
Okay.
I've got 5 marked.
Okay.
So that I'd like to hear. And I just want to say one other word. Not only was it how I wanted to hear that script in terms of the specs, because consider I am the client, or I'm with the client, or I'm representing the client. How I wanted it to be that non-announcery, warm feeling with all the feels in that description. Yeah. It's also what I feel like the voice also, if it had the sound that I was looking for. And so there are some that I feel out of the 5, I feel some did one better than, the other. But they all had something that made me put them on the short list. So.
Okay. So, first of all, everyone had something that I could potentially work with. I would just want to say that. I'm not just saying that to butter people up. I'm saying everyone had a unique quality that I could really direct and work with. But based on what we were looking for and what our vision is, here's some of my top peeps. Okay, I'm just looking at my list. Okay, so Manny is one of my tops. Okay.
Agreed.
And I have Kelly, who's one of my tops. And I have Nicole.
Yes.
And I have Aria. And I have Josh. I wasn't sure how many we're looking for, so I
5
have more. Okay, so that's 5. I have more, but we'll stop at that. We'll stop at that.
Okay, so I have I agreed with you on Nicole, Manny, Josh, and then I also had marked Alicia and Carol.
Good.
So
3 out of 5 ain't bad.
Yeah. So we definitely have the 3. Now let's just discuss. Because I think for me, Nicole had a nice hush. That's some of the notes that I wrote about Nicole that I really liked. And Nicole was also second, so she didn't have a ton of time to prepare. And she came through even with that. Now,
and you know what I loved about Nicole is when she delivers, there is something that is transports me when she speaks, that I'm in a different world. I'm in a different mode. I'm in a different world. There's something a little bit magical about her sound that I caught right away. And about her essence, because we were meeting her and seeing her on camera, there's a very calm, sort of meditative, logical, head on the ground feel to her. And that all kind of went together as this really lovely package of someone who I felt really safe with. I felt really good with.
Awesome. Manny, like from the first few words, I kind of had him marked already. He started off with a real warm, nice, friendly, not announcery style. And that's what I really, I immediately wrote, stars there.
He's super pro. He has a pro sound.
Yep.
There is a polish there without sounding overly announcery. There's a clarity there. And there's also this kind of like sexiness to it that I didn't expect because I wasn't looking for that. So there was this appeal to it,
right?
That I really liked. It was almost a sensual appeal without asking for that, which I liked.
Fantastic.
And he seemed very sure of himself because I had not met Manny at all. He
Very
was referred
confident.
over by a dear friend, and we literally met today when he came in. And I just loved his presence. I just loved his confidence, and I just loved his kind of chill, laid back, but professional guy persona. He had a persona that was very strong that I heard in his sound.
Yeah. I agree. I completely agree. Josh. Now I have Josh. There was a word, of course, I was typing so furiously that I couldn't type the word correctly, but he had a word in there that caught my attention, and it was the timbre and the lilt of the word. So as I was mentioning before, sometimes it's just something a little bit different that captures your attention. And so that's one of the reasons why I marked him. And then, so there's where our 3 agree upon. And so now we just have to talk a little bit about our next 2.
And I wanted to make mention about Josh too, because Josh, and I don't know I don't know if this is age related or what, but he's right in the middle. There's an interesting gray zone that he's in between that cool
I agree.
surfer dude, laid back guy,
Yep.
and someone who's a little bit more professional and on it, someone who's a little bit more with it, the guy in the know. So he has that stand-up comedy, fun appeal to him, but he has the serious enough that he can land it and have some ethos there.
Agreed.
That's why I love Josh. Okay. Okay, the two outside of that, yours was Carol and Alicia.
Carol and Alicia, yes.
Close second. This is what people spend fighting behind closed doors about for like hours or days, is like you're kind of fighting over people who are all talented and all
and
could
that's
do the
it.
job.
And I think, and here's the deal. Here's where it comes in. So Law and I are going to discuss who those other two are going to be. And this is probably what happens in most casting, right? Offices or whoever's fighting you for the client. And we'll just go back and forth on the reasons why, we either want this for the callback, right? And even during the callback, we'll be figuring out, well, what is the reasoning for any one particular voice? And sometimes you just don't know what that is. And it's not always based on performance sometimes. So...
No, it's just sometimes it's just like an instinct, a feeling, an impulse. And in my mind, I'm thinking some of these people are like, oh, okay, so if this person can't do it, they're booked or they get sick or whatever, then this person could easily go in. Totally. So it isn't the case where I really love this person and I really don't love this person. It's not always that case.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like gray zones of people that kind of fall in the same grouping, but that just don't make it to the booking, Carol's voice is fantastic. I mean, it's very, to me, very corporate sounding. It has very businessy, corporate-y, flight attendant-ish, finding the exit kind of sound.
Yes.
And I like it. I love it. I felt it was a little bit too objectified, a little bit too removed for the level of warmth that I was looking for this, because it is travel.
Yes.
And when I think about travel now, and I think about, number one, trying to reach the younger people, the younger generation, I think about a slightly, not younger, younger is a mythical word. It's just like a slightly more energized or more youthful kind of thing.
I get that.
Then also a little bit of like boxier squareness in terms of it.
But now, when of course, Carol, as you said, more corporate. And of course, I'm very attuned to the corporate ear because I do a lot of that myself. Now, I'm also going to say for Carol, and thinking of travel, I was thinking, oh, she would make me feel comfortable on a plane, like if she were the flight attendant. And so, and Expedia. So that was one of the reasons I thought it fit. But I'm going to actually, and I'll see you, Aria. Because I love Aria's
You'll raise me, Aria.
I'll raise you, Aria, because even though I didn't check her, I do love that voice. She's got that youthful style, if that's the market we're looking for. We did give her a different script immediately. Like, she literally had no time to even voice it and have it come out of her mouth. So I have to take that with, a little bit, a grain of salt, because she really didn't even get it out of her mouth, except that was the first time. So for me, I had written that it was a little fast, but I understand why, because it was the first time coming out of her mouth. Now, if I'm going on my gut and saying, could you convince me, Aria? Yeah, you could, because I like the timbre, the tone of her voice, the demographic is there for the script, and that's my thoughts.
And I just want to point out that, if we don't forget about who are really, who's our target demographic for this, and is like both of these women could absolutely deliver this script. But when we get back to, who the client really wants us to be looking at, it's really that, 18 to 35 demographic.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, that's most of the people that are on like Travelocity, Kayak, Expedia, and going,
that makes sense.
Not to say the 40 and up are not doing it, but for this particular one of the goals is to kind of find someone who has a bit more energized or youthful presence.
All right, you've convinced me.
So anyway, that's one issue there too as well. Okay.
Yep, you've convinced me.
Okay, so Alicia kind of fits that.
Okay.
Alicia kind of fits that.
Oh, yes.
And I love her quality, she's got a rocky, dirty, sort of like textured young sound. So I do like it. I felt like it was a little slow, like it wasn't as energized.
Yes, I agree with you there. And I wasn't thinking slow in terms of the read, but more contemplative and thoughtful. And she was another one who had a really nice different sound on the word. She interpreted the word color toward the end of the script a little bit differently than most other people, so we can find our colors. And I feel like that the operative word, obviously, in any story that we're telling, right? There's some operative words in there that really need to kind of hit the listener. Color is one of those words, and she really had a slightly different pitch on the word color, which is why I marked her. So
right. Now, here's the thing that you and I both skipped over. And you guys listening in, this happens all the time. You guys both, ironically, we both skipped over the fact that the client does want diversity for these roles. And I don't know how I could skip that over, but I got excited with the switch out of script.
Well, we did change it for this purpose to all genders and ethnicities. But you're right. I mean, diversity is something that has to be a consideration. And
right.
Absolutely.
Authentically, right, diverse. So whereas like someone like Kelly, who I know very well and is a total pro and can do this in her sleep, fits that bill in so many ways. And the voice is so layered and rich and textured and seasoned.
I agree with that.
You know, we're going to have to go back and forth on, the age thing and the youthfulness thing, because she's much more of a mature sound
now,
in my mind.
My only comments, I mean, I did like Kelly. My only comments was that she was a little too fast on the read, I thought, on that. And so, but you know what?
But we can direct her. She's directable.
I feel that all right, then all right. So then I think we have our 5 then.
And you know how I know she's directable? For those listening in, because we know her personally. We have a relationship with her.
Now,
so
normally,
I couldn't say that if I don't know her.
That's what I'm going to say. So, and only in this instant, right? If you know a casting director, here's an advantage, right? If a casting director has heard you before or hired you before or has worked with you before, it behooves you to have, an excellent relationship, or when you work with them, make it as smooth as possible. Yeah. Make it easy for the casting director. Make it easy for them to work with you, and they'll remember and have you coming back. So,
and quite oftentimes the casting, we see this all the time at the agency, will come back to the agents and go, love it, great, good, need some retakes, it's too slow, I need it, and then we can go back to those people and we know that they can do it. They're capable of it, they're willing to.
Yep. All right, so then we have our list, our callbacks. We're going to call these 5 people back: Nicole Fikes, Aria Lapidez, Manny Cabo, Josh Wells, and Kelly White. Congratulations. I would like to give a great big shout out to our sponsor, IPDTL. You too can connect and network like bosses. Find out more at IPDTL.com. You guys were amazing. I can't wait for the next episode. Law, love you. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you soon.
Great job.
Bye-bye.
Join us next week for another edition of VO Boss with your host, Ann Ganguza. And take your business to the next level. Sign up for our mailing list at voboss.com and receive exclusive content, industry revolutionizing tips and strategies, and new ways to rock your business like a boss. Redistribution with permission, coast-to-coast connectivity via IPDTL.